Right, welcome to the Van podcast, everybody. Today we've got a very special guest. We've got Dan Chambers, aka DAC Industries, aka Dan and Abby. For those of you that don't know, Dan's got a couple of really, I think, successful YouTube channels that are growing and doing really well. So welcome to the channel, Dan.
Thank you very much for having me.
Do you just want to go into a bit of detail and just sort of tell everybody where you're from?
Yeah,
where you
can
grew up,
do.
what you did, you know, all that kind of stuff?
Start from the beginning. So, in a bit of a Cilla Black blind date style, I'm Dan, I'm 33 from Leicester. Go back to the beginning. So, I've always been sort of surrounded by cars pretty much my entire life. I think the weekend after I was born, I was at Donington Park or something, sat in the pits while Dad was spannering away on the race cars. So Dad built British touring cars, the Sierra Cosworth RS500 specifically, for a guy called Graham Good racing in Leicester. Always been surrounded by him, always been fascinated by him. Left school at 15 and a half-ish and started working at Graham Good Racing. It was a job that I never tried at school because it was one of them jobs that was always there. I'd always been around it, and since I was about 5, Graham, can I work for you? So yeah, that was always done. And I think that lasted about 3 years. Did my apprenticeship, but something didn't fit right. It went from Cosworths, Subarus, Mitsubishis, performance stuff that interested me.
Wow.
To servicing Fiestas and things like that. So 17, 18 years old, I was there taking engines out of Imprezas and things like that when it came in, and that was what interested me. And then it went to just servicing your nan's Micra, and I was like, yeah, this ain't for me at all. So got bored of that, left there, and when I was growing up, there was 3 things that I wanted to do, which were all quite sort of different. Be a mechanic, which we tried. Be a joiner, which is what we ended up doing for a lot longer, or be a chef.
Yep.
But being a chef, I didn't want to work at night, I didn't want to work at weekends. I wanted to work in the middle of the day, and that was it. So that was a no-go. Left the garage, went and tried the other thing, which was being a joiner. Started at a shop fitting company called Spira in Leicester, and we manufactured shop fitting displays for car, showrooms, anything really. And the main thing that I got involved with for the majority of my joinery life was building perfume counters and display units that go into Harrods, Selfridges, Harvey Nichols, places like that. So you go and buy your perfume and your makeup off them. We built quite a lot of those. Loved it, absolutely enjoyed it, and then left there because the company got sold and the dynamic of the company changed overnight.
Right, okay.
And went subbing on my own with my brother, fitting kitchens, fitting bedrooms, building bits of furniture and things like that. And that was good. And then old shop fitting contact got in touch and said, can you build us this? Oh, all right, we'll get a bit of space, we'll do that. And within 4 years, that went from me and my brother in pretty much the same space we're in now, but a couple of doors down, to being in an 8,000 square foot workshop with about 16 staff. And it just was never, it just wasn't interesting. It's just not what I wanted to do. There was something that wasn't right, which then led to 2019. I had a breakdown from it all, from the stress and the hassle and just everything that came with it.
Wow.
Decided that we were going to sell the house, sell the cars, buy a van and convert it to live in and travel around for a year or 2 to figure out what we wanted to do with life, which is where the Dan and Abby channel came in. So I spent hours watching so many different videos on YouTube of people converting vans that I thought, I'm going to give something back. Did that, and it's proved quite popular, to be honest. There's the views went mad, and it's done pretty well.
Yeah, I mean,
that's been,
I think, oh God, this is well before Van. I mean, for me, because obviously Van's only 6 months old, so
yeah.
I think I come across you about a year ago.
I think I started that channel August 19.
Yeah.
Because I sold the van Yeah, it will be, because I sold the van the week before my birthday, and I went and bought the Crafter the weekend of my birthday, I think it was.
Right, okay.
So it had been August 19. And yeah, that
Did you get
went
rid of
back
your
pretty quickly.
Did you get rid of your T5 or a T6?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one on the wall I had to get rid of. Yeah. Sold that to be able to fund it.
Yep.
Which was my baby, that van. Absolute little baby. But yeah, so we did that, sold everything, moved into the van on the 16th of March 2020. And on the 23rd of March, we went into lockdown. So we made it from the village we lived in, 3 miles down the road, to Abby's parents' farm. And that was it. That was as far as we'd been.
So, when did you sell your house then?
The house completed on the 16th, where the 15th of March it completed. And then we moved in on about the 15th. And then, yeah. Well, I tell a lie. That week between, we went to, I think we had one night at Rutland Water, trying sort of just parking up in lay-bys and things, because we'd never done it before.
Yeah.
Then we went to a park in Northampton, which apparently was nice for walking dogs. So we went over there because we've got dogs. And then we went to bed, that would be the Wednesday night, and we went to bed and we're like, well, this corona, it don't look like it's going to do too good. Woke up in the morning, the world had exploded, everyone was going into lockdown. We were like, right, we'll just go back for a couple of weeks, let it blow over. Nearly a year later, we're still sat there and we've not been anywhere. Which then, yeah, led on, I can't sit still. I cannot sit still. I have to be doing something. Which then led on 7 weeks of doing nothing and playing stupid games on your phone. I could not take any more. So I got a mate who used to import the odd van from Ireland, messaged him, he messaged me saying, I've got this coming in, do you fancy it? I was like, no, don't want it. And then 2 weeks later he messaged me saying, it's not come in yet, I've still got it available, do you fancy it? And it was a Sunday morning, and I was laying in bed, and I said to her, Will's offered me this van again. And she went, buy it. I was like, why? I don't know, I don't want to. She was like, what have you got to do today? And I laid down and I was like,
that was in May, wasn't it?
Nothing. That was May.
Yeah.
May I managed to get to. Yeah. And I was just like, I've literally got nothing to do today or for the next week. So I was like, right, we'll have it. Bought that, got it back. And I think it was the video of me driving, I put a story up of me driving up Abby's parents' drive, and it had got every light on the dash on that you could imagine. And I was driving up the drive, and I think I had 3 people message me saying, have you bought a new project? Why don't you start a YouTube channel or put them on your YouTube channel? Well, the Dan and Abby was always going to be the travelling one that we didn't know Corona was going to last this long. We thought we were going to be off. So I said, right, I thought I might start a new one. So I just put a poll up on my YouTube, on my Instagram, sorry. And I think it was 99% of people said, yeah, start a channel. So I was like, all right, okay, start a channel. So I set that up, started working on that T5, and 8 weeks, it was from 0 to 10,000 subscribers in 8 weeks, which was just...
No way. 8 weeks?
8 weeks, it went from 0 to 10,000 subscribers. It was phenomenal. The receipt, how it got received was unbelievable. I genuinely couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it today.
Wow.
Which was mad. And then
that's mad. What?
Yeah,
just touching on that transporter. What toughest part of that build for you? That you just thought, oh god.
Head gasket.
Yeah, I knew you were
going
to say that.
I just couldn't be arsed to do it, really. I just couldn't be bothered with it. It was just, I knew how much work it was going to be. I knew how much effort it was going to be. But turning out, it wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was. But I'd say over the whole thing, that was probably the bit that I was the most like, as you can tell in it, I changed everything to try and not have to do the head gasket, which, it was the head gasket in the end. But it was good. I wouldn't say I learned a lot from it, but I've done it quite a few times before, but it was good. Having years out of it, it was good to get my head back into it. And the amount of messages I get from that T5 series saying, you've inspired me to do this, I'd have never tried this before, because the only videos, again, the reason I did it and the way that I film and do things in the style that I do them is because people put videos out there of head gasket on this, but they
Yep.
don't explain or go into detail or tell you how you do or what you've done things. You just go, oh, I've changed head gasket on it, that's it. So I wanted
Yeah.
to try and... My videos are not step by step, but if you've got a bit of an idea, they give you... You've seen it, you go, it ain't that difficult.
Yeah, it's a good
That's what I
overview,
wanted to
isn't
do.
it? Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
that's what I wanted
yeah.
to try and do with that.
Yeah. So, just continuing with the T5, I've got a bit of a taboo subject for you. You know what I'm going to say?
Go on then.
The paint.
The paint, the rattle can paint job.
Yeah. I like it. I like that kind of stuff. But, it's not going to be to everybody's taste. Well,
Again, when I bought the so before we sold everything, I
Yeah.
bought another Irish T5, which was from the same guy, which I bought as I was bored. I had nothing to do during, I think it was the summer 19, and I needed just before we got the van. No, it'd have been earlier in that year. I decided I needed something to do, so I bought a van. The idea was going to be, I'd seen people rattle canning them and it looked like fun and it looked like something different. So I thought, I'll buy a cheap one, we'll sell it off, I'll just sort it out. And that ended up, that was on air in the end because I took it off my T5 to sell my T5 and I was going to keep that to daily until I bought the Crafter.
Right.
So ended up on air ride, rattle can paint job and all the carpet and everything inside. That was actually the van that me and Chris developed the Lowdown air ride kit on.
Oh, is it really?
That was what that was developed. Yeah, that was the van that it was developed on. Yeah. Yeah, that was the van that
We'll
was
touch,
designed
we'll
and
touch
developed
on
it all.
we'll touch on low ride in a bit if you want. We'll have a bit of a more
Yeah.
lecture about that.
And that was that, and I'd done that one, and then the red T5 was only ever a keep me busy, keep me out of her way. Rattle Canics had done it before and got good results, but I'd used a different style of paint. So the first one was military paint, and it was just really thin, and I had to give it like 4 coats to get it to cover nice. Whereas the red one was graffiti paint, and I'd seen people paint with graffiti paint, but it was really heavy and thick and really textured. And I don't know where I'd got it from. I'd got a can in there, I'd sprayed something in the garage, and I'd sprayed something, and it was really smooth and flat. And I thought, why was that so textured? Surely I can get it really flat. So that was why I wanted to do that, and to show that the whole idea with that build was you can buy a cheap shitbox and not spend a lot of money and get yourself a cool van, which is where the spraying it yourself in a dusty, windy, outdoor sort of shed came in. And the amount of people that have painted their own vans off of the back of that is mad. And it did what it wanted to do, and it worked. But I did get so many, and I still get comments today about the Golf, and I've had them about the Caddy as well, saying, you're not going to rattle can them, are you? I'm like, no, not this one. That van was good and it did a thing and it got the channel to where it is, but that van, I have to stress this, did not show what I'm capable of in the slightest at all. That was
I get that.
something to do.
I get
Just
that.
something to do.
It's a stepping stone, isn't it?
Yeah, massively. Yeah. But hopefully these two will really prove what I can do.
So, Golf. Why?
So I sold the T5, and after, when I started the YouTube channel, it was never a this is what I'm going to do. It was I'm bored, I'll do it. I'm doing it, I'll film it, I'll chuck it up. I enjoyed doing the Crafter series, so I thought, right, let's do that. And I'd sold the T5, and I took a deposit on it, and he weren't collecting it for a week. So he said, right, I've got nothing to do. It was when the UK lockdown had eased, and everyone was sort of getting a bit back to normal. So we jumped in the Crafter and went up to the Lake District for a week. And I was so bored, I couldn't stand it. I just couldn't take it anymore. So I think I stood on the roof of the van trying to get Wi-Fi on my phone, trying to get Instagram. Put a thing out saying, right, looking for a project for the channel. I'm going to run with this YouTube thing. Has anyone got anything available? And there was a few things that got sent through, and then a guy called Darren messaged me. He'd literally started watching the channel like a week before because he'd just bought a T5. Yeah. And he messaged saying, I've got a Mark 1 Golf that I might want to get rid of. And I thought, he's going to want a fortune for this. It's going to be an absolute fortune. I'm never going to be able to buy it. So I messaged him back and said, any pictures, any history, how much? And he sent me the pictures, and it looked smart. It looked well smart. Sat down the side of his house, but it looked in pretty good condition. So I said, right, when I get back, I'll come up, I'll have a look. So I drove up to Cheshire, I think it was, to have a look at it. Yeah, got there, and it didn't look too bad. He says the part of the deal though is if you take the Golf, you got to take the TT.
Ah.
Okay.
I was going to ask you about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said his idea was, I think he'd bought the TT like 6 months before, and his idea was to it was a 1.8 turbo Quattro, and he was going to put all of that in the Golf. So I was like, oh, all right, okay. It wasn't a lot more, so I was like, oh, I'll have both. Got them back, and yeah, that Golf was a hell of a lot worse than was first thought. I took the seats out, took the carpet out, and was like, what have you done? Why have you bought this?
Oh.
You don't know what you're doing, you've never welded. The idea was, it didn't look bad, and he said it wasn't that bad. The idea was going to be, get it back, give it a clean, give it a tidy, chuck an MOT on it, tart it up where you can, drive it for the summer, enjoy it. In the winter we'll get it in, tidy a few bits up, and then probably sell it on. Just get a little bit of content out of it. And then as soon as I looked under it, it was just like, oh, no. There was only one thing that could happen to it. And a few people said you've taken it back too far, you shouldn't have gone back as far as you have. But in my mind, if you're going to do something like restore a car, take it all the way back or don't bother. You can only tart things up as much. It's never going to go all the way back to how it should be unless you do what I did, completely strip it. And it seemed a great idea at the time. I'm not too sure it was a great idea now. But we're nearly there. As the last video showed on the channel.
Yeah.
It's, oh man, so exciting.
I mean,
so exciting.
Your viewers will, no doubt, I mean, they're up to date with the story. But
yeah.
Just to sort of, if any of our viewers aren't seeing it, we'll put all your links in the description in regards to your channel and everything, just to make sure they can, go over and have a look. But I mean, it is a nut and bolt restoration, isn't it? I mean, I know you've got support as well that you've had with that since day one.
Which is massive. Yeah, which is massive, and this would not be happening without that at all. It really wouldn't.
Yeah, it's is it Heritage?
Heritage Parts Centre, yeah, they were pretty much. I think it was when I realised how bad it was. I was like, right, YouTubers can get help and sponsorships from people. Let's see what we can get. And I messaged them, and I think I got a message back the same day saying, "Love it, want to be on board. Let's get involved."
Wow.
And I've got pretty much an exclusivity with them for this car, that everything for it is supplied by them.
Wow.
Which is massive.
That is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It really, it's massive. It is. Yeah. I would not be doing it as fast as I am without their help. So massive thank you to Heritage.
Superb. So, what's your plans in regards to when do you think when you thinking it's going to be finished? I'm not, just to get a few. I know obviously you're a few months away.
Yeah, I mean, as it is at the minute, I think the shell will probably be finished in a couple of months.
Yeah.
As mad as it is, working 5 days a week on it, that I was, to now splitting it to sort of 2.5 days a week, I'm getting more done in 2.5 days than I would in 5 days.
Yeah.
Because I can't work out why, but I'm getting so much more done a lot quicker. Maybe it's because I've actually sort of got an idea of what I'm doing now.
You do get
Instead of buying a car,
you bogged. Yeah, you do get bogged down in the same old every day, don't you?
Yeah, massively. It was, and having the new content on the channel being the caddy, it just helps. I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult trying to split yourself between two projects, but it's a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah.
You're not doing the same thing for 6 weeks. You've got a different thing. I've got a really short attention span, really short, and I get bored very, very quickly. So it's nice to split between the two. And yeah, a car that seemed like a great idea. It will be. It'll be good when it's done. But I'm hoping to have the bodywork done in a couple of months.
Yep.
My stumbling block at the minute is sort of is money at the minute. Is
Yeah.
I need to get things blasted, powder coated. I need the engine needs honing and the head skimming, the block skimming. It all needs sorting out, tidying up.
Are you keeping all the running gear that it came with? Then are you?
Yeah. So the car came with a Mark II engine in it,
Alright.
which was out of his mate's car, which was. I don't quite understand why it was taken out of his mate's car, because his mate had still got the shell, because he's bought that engine back off me to go back numbers matching again. So the Mark I engine that was numbers matching for this car came with it, and it was taken out. I don't even know why. I think it was just taken out to put the Mark II in for a little bit more power. So it's going back numbers matching with the original engine. We might, if we can, polish the head, do a few little bits on the inside of it, but in essence, there's that many of these cars that are being engine swaps, 1.8 turbos, quattros, all of that bit. I want to put another one on the road that's original again, or sort of original.
Yeah,
Like
for the purist.
OEM plus, because I've had a lot of people say, what's your plan with wheel suspension interior wise? And at the minute I'd like a set of BBS on it. If I can afford it, I'd like to put it on air. And the interior, I don't want to go, everything I'm going to do to it can be taken off and it can be put back to stock if it was ever wanted to.
Right, okay.
But I can't leave anything alone. So I want, the Audi S-Line fabric and the headliner fabric that you get.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't even describe it. I want that on the headliner, A pillar, B pillar, C pillars. Just so it's still black, and if you look, you wouldn't notice, but it just feels a bit different. And then the seats, I want the front seats, I want sort of Series 1, Series 2 Escort RS Turbo Recaros in it.
Yep.
With some form of GTI, modern GTI trim in the middle, fabric bolsters. It's still a GTI, but it's a bit nicer, because that original GTI fabric's horrendous. And that's not going back in it at all. So hopefully, I would like to say it will see the road this summer.
Yeah.
I'd like to say it will see the road this summer. That's the plan, anyway. Which would be, if I could do it under a year, I'd be well happy.
Yeah. Some people take year, 2 years to do. I mean, and it's no harm having that long-term project on your channel anyway, is there?
No.
No.
That's always going to be the plan from now on. There's going to, I think I've sort of gauged or found a bit of a level with it. There's always going to be a long-term restoration, or I got some stupid engine swap projects in my mind as well. But then there's also going to be the Caddy, which is a quicker project, and the scheme of that is quicker, of tightening something up, making it look nicer, and just trying to get a bit more content out there is the plan.
Yeah. And the TT, is that gone?
Yeah,
or
TT. So I'd sort of decided what was happening with that, but wanted to film it all in a way. So when I've dropped the videos, I dropped the TT video first. I was like, this is the new project, this is everything. And at the end, I went, hang on a minute, watch the next video, which was then the Golf. And to be honest, the TT was never going to get built. It was never going to get anything done to it. It was, I wouldn't say I necessarily had the interest in it, but I didn't have the interest in it. It sat in the workshop for a few months and didn't really do anything. And then I serviced it, got it sorted, and then sold it. Sold it on Facebook and just got rid of it. Guy come aboard it as his daily, and yeah, it drove nice. I'd driven it around the farm a fair bit, and it did drive and pulled and did everything as it should. Yeah. But and it was too nice to go ripping the engine out of anyway. I think it was a pretty clean car.
Yeah.
So yeah, that went. There was yeah. I would like another one though. I'm looking at it. I'd like to build one into like a track car or something, I think. So I've not got enough to do.
So moving on to the Caddy.
Yes.
That, I know, just sneakily looking at my notes, you got that. I mean, just going back to the first video you put out.
With that bent wheel. The placement of that in the video, I can't take credit for. That was my wife, Abby. I'd edited it all, And through the video, I think it got to, we were in the workshop, we'd said something about it, and I'd gone over and talked about all the damage, and I said, the wheel's bent, and there's this bent, and it does drive quite funny. Let's go to that. And she went, no, it's got to go at the beginning as the first thing they see of that new vehicle. And it works so well. So yeah.
It does.
Thank you very much, Abigail.
It does. It does.
It's
it
was hilarious. When it got dropped off, well, when the lorry pulled into the yard, and the bloke that was taking it off looked at me and went, "You're gonna love this." And he got in it and he backed off, and the trailer were bouncing, his van were coming up. And we got it in the yard, and I was like, am I going to be able to get this up there? So he was like, yeah, it'd be fine. So I got in it and drove it. What is going on? There was scraping and gouging. It sounded horrendous. So I got it up, jacked up, and it was just the drive shaft touching the subframe. But yeah, it was funny. It was funny.
Where did that come from? Did it come from Copart then?
Yes, Copart. So I'd never ever bought out of Copart before. Obviously, you've seen all these YouTubers buying out of Copart.
How easy is it? How easy is it for someone who? Yeah.
Yeah, easy. I'd heard so many horror stories of I've been ripped off, this was not as it was listed, it's horrendous, never buy from there. But at the end of the day, you're buying a crash damaged car that's sight unseen because you couldn't go there at the time to see them. So it's a risk, it's always going to be a risk.
Yeah.
But the Caddy, I'd sort of looked at it and it didn't look that bad, it wasn't much of an impact, and thought, right, we'll take a punt on this. But buying through there, simple. You set up an account. I think it's £100 for a year. I think now it used to be 70 or 80 quid, and then you just go through this hundreds and hundreds of auctions and thousands of cars. Find the sort of vehicle that you want. Find where the auction is, and then it will tell you when the date it comes on. And then when that went on, I think it was started at 12 o'clock, and I just had the laptop on the desk in the back of the workshop, and that didn't go through till 2-ish, because it comes up and tells you a rough time of when that vehicle's going to go through. So this was like 170 in the list or something.
All right.
And they give you I think there's a certain amount of time that each vehicle takes to go through, but some will go through quicker, some will take longer. So take that it says in an hour and 20 minutes with a pinch of salt, because you might miss it. So I was setting a timer like half an hour before, and then I kept setting a timer every 5 minutes to just go back and check, and then I just sit there, type in your maximum bid, like eBay, type in your maximum bid, it comes up and there's all flashing and stuff on the screen, and then it either says, yeah, you're outbid, or you've won it. And on this case, yeah, we won it, which was nice. And I think I got it for an absolute steal.
Yeah.
I got 1,300 quid for it, plus fees.
No way.
Which I got the delivery through Copart, which in hindsight I wouldn't do. It's about 1,800 quid delivered, including fees, delivery and everything. Which,
not bad, that.
For an 11 plate van, I don't think was that bad.
No.
Considering we've got it back, we had it back to a solid van that would have worked for about 300 quid. It weren't a lot at all. So yeah, it would have been a cheap van if I hadn't started messing around with it.
One of my favourite videos is one of the early ones when you're pulling the post out.
That dent out.
Yeah.
When I realised it's with everything that I do on it, I doubt everything I do. I'm not any good at anything, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm never going to be able to do it. In my mind, that's me all the time about everything. And I got this, and I saw that dent, and I was like, oh, it's a strong place, how am I going to fix it? I was messaging body shops.
The door
was in, so the bottom was in and it was up and the top was out. And I was like, how am I going to fix it? I was messaging body shops, everybody I knew, trying to get stuff sorted. And then it was just one Saturday morning, I came in, thought, right, let's go and have a look in the farm workshop, see what we can find. Found that pulley lever system, thought, there's a post in the workshop, let's see what's what. So yeah, went to start fixing it, ran out of gas straight away, so the welder didn't work properly, but somehow without gas managed to weld the plate to the post and then get it bolted to the van. Put a bit of pressure on it, came straight out. Put the door in it, fitted straight away. It was like, free. Loved it.
At least it didn't put your shop down.
Yeah, because I think I got quoted about 400 quid by a body shop to pull it out. So, no, that's ridiculous.
Wow. Yeah.
Plus I'd got to get the vehicle recovered there. That was going to be another couple of £100.
And you ain't got that content as well, have you?
No, exactly that. Whereas this just shows that you can do it and you can do it at home. But as I said in the video, and I got told by a few people, don't go bolting things to the side of your house and trying to pull a dent out of the car with it, because you'll pull bricks out of your house. Which I thought was hilarious. One guy pulled the corner of his house out, and the other guy had pulled the block wall, one of the blocks out of the wall in his garage.
Wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
use a metal post. Some other guy said he didn't use it around a lamp post. Yeah, don't use brickwork because it will go wrong. I had to put that one in there because you know what people are like.
Wow. I mean, you know, I'm a VW nut, and well, most people do, and I've got a caddy. I've really enjoyed this series. One particular video that just went viral.
Oh,
within 7 days. I mean, it went viral. Yeah. I mean, 24 hours. I was having a conversation with, weren't I? Back then, because we were talking about this and other stuff, and I think I said something to you like, that'll be 10K
10,000 in 24 hours, and I was like, no, it won't do it.
It's just rocketed. It's just rocketed.
I think it got to 100,000 views in 11 days.
Yeah, just for Pete, same again. Just talk us through what made you sort of decide on going for that type of bumper, and you know what sort of started that off.
Just I like the look of it really, and I try and be open about everything and anything that I'm doing. So the reason we got the caddy on the channel was because the amount of work that was involved in the Golf, in the welding. I mean, I've been welding this now for 4 months, 5 months.
Yeah.
And the views just started to sort of level off, and they weren't really doing as well as they used to be. So I thought, right, we need to get more interest in the channel in another vehicle, which will then bring interest from different people into the Golf. So yeah, decided that was why the caddy was going to come on, and the reason a caddy, because I couldn't afford a T5, easy as that, and I've always wanted one. I've always wanted a caddy, and for me, they're better for content than a car, because you buy a car, you lower it, you put wheels on it, you wrap it or paint it, and then you're done. You got 3 or 4 episodes out of it. You can't really do a lot. These vans, you can do so much too. So, and they're like the T5 and really popular, but anything that you do to them is really secretive. No one wants to tell you how to do it. No. I know how to do it. I'm not telling you how to do it. And I was like, right, let's tell everybody. So, the reason for it really was what can be done and what can be done to it, and the content we can get out of it, and show people how to do these things. So the seat conversion was a video that was always going to happen, and I've had loads of people say, what you done that for? What you took all the stuff out of a Terran and put it in a caddy for? What you doing is making a Terran. Well, no, it's still a caddy. Yep. Still a caddy, it's just got cooler bits in it, and it's more usable, and it's just better.
It is.
And then the front bumper was, in my eyes, it's the only bumper to do for them. It just fits and looks right. And again, no one had explained how to do it. It was all really secretive as to how you do it and what you do. Which is then when I got chatting to, I mean, you sent me some photos of when yours was made, so thank you very much. And we went through how that was done. And then Hef, I mean, the amount of videos and hours that we spent talking about how to do it, because me being me, until I've actually tried it, again, I'm never going to be able to do it. I don't know what I'm doing, and it's going to go wrong. But it seems to have worked pretty well. It looks pretty good now in primer. I'm pretty happy with it.
It does. And I'll tell you one thing. Obviously, when we spoke off camera over the last few months in regards to the amount of work, the amount of help that Hef reached out to you with that bumper.
Yeah.
Looking back, I think I'd have done mine that way.
Would you? The bonding.
Yeah, because
it just seems you've
stronger.
got more material. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, mine. There's nothing wrong with mine. It's filled with fiberglass and it's not cracked.
Yours was plastic welded and plastic hot stapled and.
Yeah, but I just think, especially how you sort of overlapped.
Yeah. And
bonded it, and then you.
Yes, that front profile has got a little bit bigger with the filler and the thickness of the plastic. But I don't think it looks any different.
No.
I really don't. If anything, it might give a little more to it. But it's on, it's stuck, it's been painted for nearly a week now and it's not cracked or moved yet, so Hopefully it's all
and
right.
And if it's going to crack, it's going to crack under these temperatures we're having at the minute.
Oh yeah, yeah, Christ, yeah.
I keep seeing remnants of your. I keep seeing your breath every now and again.
It's freezing. I did have the diesel heater on, but I mean, I started stinging, so yeah, we've turned that off. There's
Definitely.
fumes in the air. So
I mean,
and I've got a little gas heater down here. That's why I keep going like that, keep it warm. Rubbing my leg.
God. In an ideal world, we'd have been sat in your workshop, and then we'd have done this, you know. But we are where we are, and I honestly, I don't think it'll take anything.
No, I'll roll and message something else up.
Content.
No,
it's all good. It's all good. Just have a chat about the dash in the caddy. Yes.
So yeah, we've done on the caddy so far. We've done the Terran rear seat conversion, which is pretty easy. We've done the Terran carpets and front seats, and then we've done the Terran dash conversion as well. Now, I had loads of people go, "Why have you changed the dash? What's the point? Why have you done it?" It just looks nice.
It's a better dash.
The only thing to it, it just looks nice. That is the only reason to do it.
And you get a glove box.
And you get a glove box. But yeah, that was again one of the things that was always going to happen, which is why I bought the whole complete Terran again out of Copart to take the parts off, because I knew I wanted that, the electric windows and all of that stuff. Which by the time this goes out, got the electric windows to work in it yesterday. Yes, it worked. I got told by people it wouldn't work, but it worked. But yeah, the dash was. Again, online and on the forums, you read threads, but it's only a bit of it. It's never every single little detail that needs to know to be able to do it. So I just took the dash out of the Terran, took the dash out of the caddy, threw it. It was like, brilliant, this looks great. Then got chatting to somebody else, Jeff Cooper, who said, you changed, Jeff, he's got the Martini van.
Very nice van. Very nice.
So he bought my floating centre caps for my Helios as well. I made floating centre caps for the Helios wheels on our T5, and he bought them off me years ago. And yeah, we've got the dash in, got it all in and done and finished. A-pillar is in, which nightmare. All finished, and he went, "Oh yeah, you changed the top of the heater box, didn't you? The vents for the vents, didn't you?" I was like, "No." He's like, "You need to change that." I was like, "Oh." So I came in, took it all out again, changed that, put it back in, and went, "Oh, you changed the other ones as well, didn't you?" I was like, What do you mean? He says, "Oh yeah, you need to change the other two as well." So 8 o'clock, the Saturday night, before the video went live at 9 o'clock Sunday morning, I was in the workshop, dash out, change them things, dash it, did it in an hour, which I was pretty pleased with. So that dash has been fully fitted into that van 3 times.
Wow.
And it's now not coming out again. It stayed in. But it makes such a difference.
Yeah, it does. It does. But that's what the channel's all about. It's all about showing people this is how you can do it. And there's probably people out there, this is my opinion on, and I'll probably get shut down for saying this, but if you are good at what you do in life, generally, you've got a good reputation, you know, you've got returning customers, you've got people that will recommend you, you know, this is where it gets a bit of a subject, because I think people, fair enough, there's certain things within businesses that are secrets. I get that. And you don't necessarily have to show people everything, because there's a lot of companies out there that do a lot of promotional videos but will not give their trade secrets away, which is fair enough, and I get that. And there's certain things, and I think within, say, engine conversions and stuff like that, that you're not going to be able to document in such a detail that someone could do it exactly and do it themselves. Because not everyone's got that type of knowledge, and not everyone's got the tools, because the tools are key to doing the job. So I think we aren't waffling on too much. And this is the same for us. The type of content that you're putting out, it's educational to people. There's a lot of people that can connect with it and think, do you know something? I can go up to Alfred's, I can buy a 70 quid toolkit that's got, you know, you know, sockets in and everything else, and I can have a go at this. And I think the people that they'll always want to do it themselves will always want to do it themselves. The people that can afford to pay
100%.
will pay. So it's great to have the content out there, such as from yourself, that people can look at and think, do you know something? I can do this.
I can do
And when I get to that bit,
and
I'll pause it,
so
and then
many
I'm going to do
messages
it,
about the
and then
bumper.
I'll press play.
Yeah.
All
of it.
Why
the
not?
T5,
You
the,
know, why
the
not?
amount of people I've had messaging me about lowering their T5, they didn't understand what the hub mod was, they didn't understand what the top mount mod was, and now they know, and they've done it to their own vans.
Yeah.
There was even a guy the other day
Yeah.
that I was messaging on Instagram who van had failed its MOT on Snap Springs and he was trying to fit some coilovers. And I was basically messaging him throughout the day. He was asking, what's this, how's this, how do you do it? I messaged him throughout the day, he did it himself. And then I got a message at the end of the day saying, mate, saying, I'm so proud, I've done it myself, thank you so much for it. And that made me feel good that I'd helped somebody to do it. And I don't know everything, but the little bits I do know, I'll try and help people where I can and guide them, because there's nothing more satisfying than doing something yourself. There's nothing more satisfying.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like you said,
No,
I might be doing people out of business, a bit of business with what I'm doing, but there's always those people that won't give it a go, aren't sort of capable of doing it, and don't want to do it. So I don't feel too bad, I don't suppose, about it. People are. If someone wants to give it a go, they're going to give it a go. It's just giving them a bit of a confidence in it, is really what it is.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, because the people that are, consistent and good at something, they'll always have returning customers. They'll always have people that come to them, and it's that level of service. And like your channel, you can connect with that person. People buy off people.
Yeah. It proves the point. I put a video out explaining how to make that bumper. I must have had 15, 20 emails saying, will you make me a bumper? Well, there's still that business. Do you know what I mean? There's still that business there. I won't make them for other people because I've not really got the time. But there's people out there that do it. So, if anything, I might have spurred on and given people more business. So,
exactly. And I think I know of, within the Caddy forums, I think there's one guy that does it for a business. And I think he does that as a part-time business. I might be wrong, get shot down for that. And then I think there's quite a lot of guys that just do it in their spare time for people, build them for people. But they are expensive. I mean, the GTI bumper, I mean, I don't know where you got yours from. I bought mine second-hand, it was quite expensive. Yeah. So by the time you put that in, I mean, I facelifted mine. I didn't facelift mine.
No.
Yeah.
What have I got in this now?
I think...
There's probably about 350 quid in materials, nearly 400 quid in materials in that bumper as it sits.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably 400. Yeah.
It's quite an inexpensive... It is a fair amount of money, but for how it looks...
Well, yeah.
Looks...
It's expensive if it goes wrong.
Yes, it is. It is. What's your plans next with the Caddy, and, where do you see this going?
So, the plans for the Caddy going forward are, we want to try and fit the tram mirrors and see if we can get them working, and make them, because there's obviously quite a lot involved in them, so we'll see if we can get them to do it and how easy that is. Strip it down, get it all sorted and prepped, ready for painting, because we're colour changing it. Colour's decided, it's going to look amazing.
Good.
And then obviously rebuild it all back up, sand and insulate, all of that in the back, make a bit of a feature of the ceiling, wheels, coilovers, because again, I can't find anywhere online a video of how you do coilovers on these or fit the suspension on these. Front's easy, rear obviously is
shackles,
leaf and beam, so the shackles and flipping the beam and all sorts like that. So I've never done it, still never done it, but we'll work it out and put a video out on that and explain to people what it is and how you do it. Is the idea, but that's in essence pretty much the Caddy from pretty much start to finish, which hopefully it'll have been a decent little series.
Good stuff. And what sort of look are you going for in regards to how it's finished? What's the sort of idea in your head thinking? Are you going for something sort of similar to what you did with T6? That kind of
OEM Plus.
OEM Plus, yeah.
OEM Plus, that's everything. My style is OEM Plus and subtle.
Yeah.
I don't like the T5, I had, when that was built, I had a few people in the Low Down Club that had come up to me at shows and go, I remember distinctly one of them come up to me and said, "Why does your van work so well?" And he said, "It doesn't stand out. It doesn't," like they were going for like big bright colours and big audio installs and absolutely on its arse and just trying too hard.
Yeah.
And I was just like, because it's not trying to be anything it's not. Like the steering wheel was a rubber flat bottom up steering wheel, because I didn't feel the van warranted all gloss, all buttoned steering wheel. It was just subtle, simple and clean. Simple and clean, I suppose, is my style, and that's what I want to do with the Caddy as well. Low, subtle, simple, clean, OEM plus, not too mad.
Yeah,
is what my style appears to be, which I think with the ideas I've got with the Golf of just changing those little interior bits, all sort of ties in and fits together, I think.
Superb. So no doubt everybody will tune in and watch the sort of. Would you say you are halfway through? 2/3?
I thought so. Yeah, I'd have said we're probably halfway through it so far. We've got
plenty left to do then.
There's a few bits still. Yeah. This like when I was doing the windows yesterday, I stood back and looked at it and was like, well, you're about done now. The only thing really now is to start taking it to pieces again. And I went, yeah, well, that was your plan. That was always your plan all along, was get as much of it in and working as you can.
Yeah.
That might mean you might have to cut this or try that or change the other. Then blow the whole thing to pieces, prep everything, paint it, put it back together.
And you paint it
yourself. And
then
do the ceiling, the carpeting. So painting it at the moment is, I've got a mate who set a spray booth up, which is where the bumper was primed in.
Yep.
It's not an automotive booth, he paints furniture and windows and doors and things, but it's an extraction wall. He's got good air compressor and all that. It's a sealed room that's clean. The van will fit in there because when he moved in and he found out I was doing the Golf, we purposefully made it a little bit bigger so we can fit the Golf in there, and that needs to be painted as well. So between me and James, we're going to be painting it together and sorting it out. I might end up priming it in here. I'm not sure yet. It might end up that I might need to just prime a few bits in here to prep it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the actual top coat and clear and everything will be done in James's booth over the weekend because it's the right environment really.
Superb.
Which is great that I've got that at my feet. But the original plan with this place was, and the idea with the channel and everything is I want to do as much of it as I can myself. I don't want to buy something and go, oh, I've done this and they've done it for me, and oh, they've done that for me, oh, they bolted that, and oh, they made that. I want to try and do as much as I can myself, and I was originally going to build a paint booth in the top area of the workshop, but with James not far away, we decided that it wasn't really worth it at the minute. But
superb.
So that's where it's going then, so it's going James's to be painted.
Superb. Right, I've got a couple of questions for you, which not too serious. What advice would you give to yourself or someone starting out if they were doing it, or if you could talk to yourself 2 years ago and say, don't do this, do it this way, because it is a journey and it's an education because you try things. And so what sort of advice could you give to someone starting out?
I think what we learn, and I think the success of the Dan and Abby channel and my channel from the beginning was mainly because me and Abby love a bit of research and we love looking into things before we do things and finding out the exact right way of how to get it all sorted. And before we started the Dan and Abby channel, we watched hours and hours and hours and hours on the subject that we wanted to be producing content on. So building a van and all that sort of stuff, and then travelling and how people filmed as they were travelling. And when you're watching the videos, don't just watch the video, you want to also almost assess the video. So see how they're filming it, what the camera angles are, what scenes they're using, what music they're using, how they're using music, how they're using little green screens, subscribes and things like that in it.
Yeah.
The main thing I'd say is watch as many hours of the subject you want to be producing content on.
Yep.
And just take it all in and learn from that. I still learn today. Like the golf video that got the Y Food advert in it, that when I got it through and I'd sort of written down the script.
On getting
thank you very much. First one, that was a very unexpected email, I have to be honest. But I'd written sort of a script of what I'd got to say, and I sat there trying to read it. I was like, I can't get it. And then that night, I went home and I watched one of Matt Armstrong's videos, and it just clicked, and I realised that as he's doing like the Surfshark or Squarespace or whoever,
yep.
It's not just stood in front of the camera talking to it, it's a 10-second clip, a 10-second clip, a 10-second clip, a 10-second clip. So you've only got to remember that little amount of a script,
yep.
Which I did that, and it made life so much easier. So doing one little 10-second clip probably took me 2 minutes to film, but I'd got the camera there, my laptop there, and I'd read, deliver it to the camera, get something wrong, read, deliver it to the camera again. And after a few tries, it works and it sticks, and you get what you're looking for.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
It's just researching and watching and taking information in from videos. Something I always remember as well, I listened to, I think it was a podcast before we started the Dan and Abby channel, is if you're going to get return viewers, the viewer needs to get something from watching your video.
Yeah.
Be that learning something or seeing something that's exciting or something, the viewer needs to get something. If you're just doing something and nothing really happens through the video, you're not really going to get return viewers. But if someone learns something, they're going to go, I'm going to keep going back there because I learned that. I remember that's where I saw it. I'll use him again.
Yeah.
And then from there, your thumbnail, you've got to put a lot of effort into your thumbnail and make it stand out.
I need to start taking notes for myself here.
Technically, I suppose I've been a YouTuber for a year and a half now.
Yep.
And I've learned. I think over the whole thing, there's probably 100 videos between the two channels.
Yeah.
So I've done a fair amount, and I've learned a lot.
Tell you how many total views?
How many total views? Across the two channels?
Total views over two channels. Have a guess.
How is that now?
Yeah.
Got to be 2.5 million.
3.5.
Really?
Just short of 3.5 million.
Wow.
That's just phenomenal.
That's insane.
Yeah, you've got. Looking at my notes. Yeah, 1.5 million on your. Just over 1.5 million on your channel, and sorry, take that back. Yeah, 1.5 million on your channel and nearly just over 1.9 million on your. Yeah, so.
Wow, I didn't realise it was that much.
It's crazy, mate. It's
That's
crazy.
mad.
22,000 subscribers on yours.
Yeah, clicked over that the other day, which again was completely unexpected. So, like I said, with the caddy, with all the views dropping off and things like that on the golf, and using the caddy to try and bring viewers back in.
Yep.
I think that was started early January.
Yeah.
And in the last 28 days, I think I looked this morning, it was like 5,500 subscribers, and that's all obviously from the caddy, which is mad. Yeah. It's massive.
It's awesome.
And thank you to every single person that watches, because without people watching, just be an idiot talking to a camera that no one watches.
No, but going back to what we were saying off camera, it's about connecting with someone. It's about.
It is.
It's about show the good, show the bad. It's not all. Yeah. It's not like a.
Which is what I like. I try my best to show things that go wrong and things that don't quite work out right, and blows my mind thinking about it. It really does, and how well it's all been received, and how well I've been received, I suppose, as well. It's it's crazy. It's mad.
Superb.
I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. It's. Looking back on it, I never realised how unhappy I was, but having a normal job and having a normal life and house and this, that, and the other, I never realised how unhappy I was, and I never, ever, I don't think ever had the feeling of waking up on a Monday morning and going, right, I'm going to work today, can't wait for this. Yeah. Which I've now got. I can't wait to get back in the workshop, in the freezing, and start getting on and making things and playing with things, and it's mad. It's not a real job, and I don't really earn anything from it, so I suppose it isn't actually a job, but it's I really, really enjoy doing it.
You only get out what you put in, and progression. Just look where you've gone with your subscribers last month.
We're heading in the right direction.
Sponsor as well, having Waifu's involved, and hopefully then that opens doors up for more sponsorship, because talking from, we've got his own channel, talking to another person who fundamentals are the same, content, what you put out, how much you put out, and it's, a lot of people don't realise the time and the effort and financial sacrifice that goes into that.
Yeah,
that's
the thing that I always get with it as well. Like when I first launched sort of the merch, and I had people messaging me saying, "Oh, it's just turned into another YouTube channel. All you're doing is begging for money and blah, blah, blah." Well, I'm not begging for money. If you want to buy a hoodie, you buy a hoodie. All it's doing is supporting the channel for me to be able to build and continue making content that's free for you to watch. Some people expect you to go drop in 100 grand on building a car and then give it to someone for free and not make any money off of it and pay for it. It's a business at the end of the day. They won't go to work, do something for a gaffer and not get paid for it, would they?
No. But I think once you've got that loyal following, you're always going to end up with them comments.
I'd say that is less than 1%.
Yeah, my view on it is, I fan, and I'm going to speak quite openly. It bothered me at first, because I thought, they don't like me. They don't like my accent. Or, I mean, you might have to put subtitles on for this for me, but no. But I think
I don't want to say anything.
I think, it does, and it's the world we live in. I accept that, and we're putting ourselves up on a bit of a pedestal.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
So that you're up for criticism. I'm all for constructive criticism. I will not give someone a voice if it's
the thing that also gets my back up though is
negative.
People that comment on the videos saying you didn't film this right, or you need to do this, or you talk too much in your videos or something, and you click on their profile, they've got no subscribers and never uploaded a video. Like, when you've put effort into making a video and the amount of time and effort that goes into one, once you've done that and they're off the charts, then I'll listen to you.
You're finding yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You're finding
every
yourself.
Video. If you go back to the very first few crafter videos, I didn't realise that the audio levels were off, so the music's really loud and the talking's not. So the first 2 or 3 episodes, you have to constantly turn the volume down. Then I realised, and I found now the percentage that it has to be at, and I know what I'm doing with it now.
Yeah, it's like
it's just learning on the job.
It's like you've got a clear idea in your head. You're thinking, this is how I want it to look, and it's not always to everybody's taste, but ultimately you're doing it to be inclusive to everyone, so people can connect with you, they can connect with what you're doing. It's not always going to be to everyone's taste. If someone don't like us, we've had it. If someone don't like how we film something, or they say there's not enough exhaust noises, or there's not enough drive-bys, or there's too much talking. We've done the same, and I've been quite self-critical on, especially with Vand, to sort of episode 1 for us was just the launch, and it was my van, and it weren't never really about my van being the best carry outlet. It's not about that. It was just about, this is my van, this is why I did it, this is why I wanted it like that. I worked with Darkside Developments, they did a lot of the work on it, Caddy Solutions did, and this is why I like using them, because of X, Y and Z. Now, I got quite a bit of criticism off that video and a few messages off people, and that's where I thought, I don't know if I can do this. But thick skin, deep back in, jump back into it and just think, right, next time we're going to do it this way. And then episode 2 went out, and we thought, I think it was the Red Astra van.
Every episode,
and we made it really raw, and then that set the tone. and then
you've found where you need to
yeah,
be.
yeah, and then it's just a case of, like you do, it's a case of thinking, oh, we'll try this time, or we'll change this time, or
Yeah, it's trying different things. Like I've had the amount of people I've had say, you need to mix it up. It doesn't want to just be the intro, stand in front of a camera and then get on with something. You need to do a bit like the making the tea scene, or there's something else I've done as well. But there's only so many of them you can do. How many times do you want to see me make a cup of tea or turn the light on? Or
yeah, then somebody else said I'm fed up of seeing you making a cup of tea, you know.
Exactly. But I mean, if you go down, like I do it in studio when you're looking through comments and things. I don't know why, but you'll read the good comments and they don't go in. You read it, it goes, read it, it goes, read it, it goes, read it, it goes. And then you get down, there's a bad one. And then that sticks in your head and you go, look at this, to the missus. And it's just in your head. Yeah. And then she goes, yeah, but look at the 50 nice ones you've just read above it.
I know.
I think it's just human nature.
It's just
the way that we're wired, and
it is.
It'll always stick in your head, but
it is.
Now it's
the way things are with social media, and
YouTube's even worse though, because it is even more anonymous.
Yes, it is. To me,
you're even more anonymous.
To me, this is my opinion on social media. It's a great platform for such as like ourselves, and for people that have got businesses. You know, we've got this background business. You know, we out social media. You know, we a ton of word of mouth, but it gives us a platform to say, do you know something? We're good at what we do. This is what we do. Same with you. But to me, social media, to open a social media account, you should have to put your driver's license in, put your passport in.
Yeah.
You know, there's just too many. You know,
should be more regulation on it.
Yes, definitely. I'm all for criticism. I'm all for constructive criticism. I'm all for listening to people, because I think you have got to listen to people as well. You know, that's what this is all about. It's learning and growing. But it's you know, just to
trolling those too far.
Just to write something negative that's not constructive.
Yeah.
And yes, they're entitled to their opinion. That's fine. But if you don't want to watch the video, you know, that's fine as well. You know, it's not to everyone's taste. And
I have found that if you do get a bad comment, it does make a good Instagram story though. You do get it does get quite a good reception.
Same again.
Instagram story.
Like you see on a lot of people, turn a negative into a positive. I will not, you know, and I think
what,
we'll leave this subject as it is, because we're not talking about being negative. Definitely, but turn a negative into a positive. Why not? That's what it's all about.
Which is what I've done with the whole Corona thing. I think we're doing this and what we're doing now.
Definitely.
This.
I mean,
because there's obviously a lot of people struggling business-wise in the minute, but I wouldn't say I'm necessarily thankful that it happened, but I wouldn't necessarily say I'm not thankful that it happened, because everything's, for me personally, not for anyone else, personally, everything's fallen into place and got me to where I wanted to be and worked out what I wanted to do.
Me and Darren, Daz, my business partner, talk about this all the time. Corona's terrible and there's a lot of people dying. That goes without saying. And we're fortunate, and we're very thankful. We're fortunate. We had it about a month ago, and we weren't very well, but we were all right, and we've come through it. But Corona happened. We probably wouldn't be sat here now.
No, not
at all. Because of what happened, you'll be probably travelling. You know, no doubt you'd still be doing your content and everything else, but from a
completely different angle.
Yeah, and Van were born during lockdown, you know, and the progression that's, you know, where that's come from and where it is now. But, you know, same again, thankful for what we've got. We're incredibly lucky. Every day we get up, we come to work, going on yourself, you enjoy what you do. We do the same, and we're all for, you know, having a bit of a laugh and a bit of a joke, and, you know, it's all light-hearted, and that's the sort of people we are. So I think we'll move on from that to my next question for you, which is, who's the most influential person in your life, or has been?
I suppose to a certain extent, my dad, really, because what they did back in the 80s and 90s with the touring cars and the absolutely immaculately turned out race cars they built, is something that I definitely aspire to do and to be like. And I suppose just doing everything. So he is no longer a mechanic. He does sort of property developing and things now.
Yeah.
And I am very much my father. He just turns his hand to anything, and I think that's where I get it from.
Yeah.
And I just want to try and do that all to the best of my ability, and then ring him up. Oh, Dad, look at this! Look what I've done. So I suppose to some extent with Dad, really. I wouldn't say I'm not necessarily inspired by celebrities or anything like that. I'm not really.
Yeah.
Not really that sort of person.
No.
But I suppose my dad, I'd have to say, really.
We're all human.
The stuff he can do and
yeah.
The level of things that he can do things to and the detail. I suppose that's someone that I would,
Good.
inspire.
Right. Quick fire petrol head question round.
Go for it.
Well, some are petrol head, some are a bit more. What you like, what your interests are.
What colour are your pants?
Yes. So, question 1: petrol or diesel?
Oh, I've had nothing but diesels for about the past 6 years.
Yeah.
But I'd probably have to say petrol.
Yeah.
Because
Ooh.
would I?
Yeah.
Would I? Yeah, petrol. Gotta be. You ain't gonna get a diesel Aston Martin or a Lamborghini, are you?
Well, that probably brings me on to my next question. Would it be something that's just like a V10 or V8 or V6? How would it be? Would it be a turbo or a supercharger?
Absolute, without question, second to none, my absolute dream car that I would own and give everything away for is a Sierra RS500 Cosworth.
Really? I'm quite surprised about it. Well, I'm not, but yeah.
I'd give that car. It's my childhood. It is. That car is just the most iconic car in my head and in my world. It's just I mean, they're getting ridiculous prices now, but I would seriously want to. I do seriously want to own one of them one day.
Well, mine is that Golf you've got there, so we'll have to talk about that at end.
When she's done.
Favourite film?
Favourite recent film?
Yeah.
Favourite recent film? Great Showman.
Really?
Throwing it out there. Honestly, that film.
That is my secret favourite film.
Oh, I'm not bothered. Everyone knows that is my favourite film. The soundtrack is constantly on in the workshop. It was that film. I watched it the first time probably Christmas 18, and then through 19 when everything that was going on in my head and the breakdown and everything. If I was in the office and I needed to just escape and just try and just block everything out, pretend that I wasn't dealing with all this stress, these headphones would go on and the Great Showman soundtrack would come on, because there's just something about the lyrics in it that just
very uplifting.
The Kiala Settle song of This Is Me, and she's trying to basically say that if you don't like it, get on with it. I'm not really bothered. I'm me. I want to do what I'm doing. And there was just something about it that rang true. And I'd say that is my absolute favourite modern film. But older film, keeping it back on topic, probably Gone in 60 Seconds. You can't beat it.
Nicolas Cage. Yeah.
Bringing it back.
Yeah. That is like, looking back at that, that's like the sort of very early Fast and Furious style.
Yeah.
I
suppose to some extent, the fact that the first Fast and Furious as well, and the first couple are the sort of things you could just sit down and watch at any time.
Most influential YouTuber or favourite YouTube channel?
I suppose I'm going to have to say Matt Armstrong. Really, because I know Matt anyway. I've known Matt for a couple of years. He worked at Graham Good Motors, which is where I worked. And I left 15 odd years ago, but my dad's still involved in it. My uncle's still there. There's my cousins and things still there. So I still go down there quite a lot, and I sort of knew Matt sort of anyway through that.
Right. Okay.
And then when he left and got when he got the S5, and his channel just exploded. That really then, for a normal lad from Leicester that did what he was doing, working 2 jobs, doing what he was doing, and now obviously we talk, and I can, you know, I know what is possible earning wise, and in buying the Lamborghini and all that through literally through YouTube. I was like, yeah, man, anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Anyone can do it, and I'd probably have to say Matt. I think.
Yeah. But I see them.
Have to say him for seeing what's possible.
I keep saying the same. I think you're on them lines. It's only a matter of time.
I hope so. I do. I hope so. I really do, because I absolutely love what I'm doing. And can you imagine if we had something like some sort of a supercar on the channel? It'd be blow your mind, wouldn't it? Blow your mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to try and keep. It wouldn't all instantly go right. Oh, let's all just do supercars. I want to keep it like. I was talking to Abby about this the other day, actually. Yeah, it is. I was talking to Abby about this the other day, and she says, "Well, where do you want to grow? What sort of?" Abby's big into this, the law of attraction and things, and she was like, "Where do you want to be with your channel? What do you want to be doing?"
Yeah, we're the same.
And I was like, doing things like dream cars to have on the channel, R32 Skyline, R34 Skyline, probably some sort of an Impreza, maybe a Mitsubishi, some B5 S4, maybe wide bodying a B5 S4 with all the RS arches and things on it.
Yeah.
Lancia Integrale, things along.
Yeah.
They're probably not attainable now because of what they're worth, but they're cars that people can connect to more than a Lamborghini or an Aston Martin or a Ferrari. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where I want to try and keep it, is to the relatable.
Yeah.
Maybe a Cosworth one day, that would be insane. Restoring a 3-door on the channel would be mad.
Yeah, it would be. It would. I mean, just growing up in late 90s, and I passed my driving test. The Escort RS Cosworth, Escort RS Turbo, sort of like 89 F-Reg-ish, dream car, XR2i,
6 CVH, yeah.
and then the RS 2000 Escort RS, Escort RS Cosworth, Whaletail, and the Sierras, all the same era. Yeah, cracking cars.
They're just they are what I grew up at. Fords and Subarus now is what I grew up around, and they're just
we aren't getting too much weight, everybody. What's the sort of plan for this year? Obviously the Caddy will be finished at some point, and I guess
as soon as the Caddy's done,
a new project. Then are you thinking another van or a car?
As soon as the Caddy's done.
What, yeah.
I don't know with that one really. This is what's I'm racking my brains as to what to do next, because there's so much content you can get out of vans, but I'm a vag man at the minute. That's what, unless I was to get like a Cosworth or some sort of performance Jap car, I'm very much a vag man, and I've done the two main vans. I've done the Caddy and I've done the T5.
Yeah.
Although the T5 wasn't the best. It would be nice to do a T5 to the level of the Caddy's going to be, so nice and shiny, well done and looking good. But part of me's thinking maybe a car next, maybe something much quicker that we could do, get done, turn around in a month, maybe just over 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Something a bit easier, a bit quicker, just to try and get quick content in and out and keep the audience sort of entertained.
Yeah.
So I've got an idea for one. I just need to do a bit of research into what would be doable with it. But again, nothing that's overly fancy or over the top or anything. It's sort of an everyday car, but it's something a bit different. But I can't decide. I really don't know what to do with it. The vans were easy, but I don't know. Really don't know. I'm going to throw it out there as well, which I don't think maybe no one will be expecting. At some point this year, I'm planning on a bike build.
Ooh.
Yeah, I want cafe racer. I want to build a cafe racer.
Oh yes.
For me, for the summer, if I can do it, it'd be nice to build one sort of early summer so I can ride it through the summer. But again, bringing that different angle into the channel, just trying to just bring different things and it not just get stale.
Yeah.
That's what I want to keep trying to do. And main aim of the year, grow it, get it as big as we can.
Yeah.
I want that 100,000 plaque sat behind me in a podcast. Yes. That's what I want.
Yeah. Don't forget about us though when you get to that point.
Aye. You'll be there as well. You'll be there as well. You'll get there as well.
Oh, thanks man. Right, is that what you want to add to anyone? Do you know? Do you want to give a? Would you like? Is anyone you want to thank? You know, we'll put all the the description links in the description. If there's anybody who's helped you with your journey,
I mean, I suppose the main person I need to thank is Abby, really, for putting up with it.
Yeah. There's always a suffering
mum and dad for
wife
letting me use the stables. Yeah, she's. I talk about nothing else because I've got nothing else going on. We're not going or doing anything, so it's just look how many subscribers I've got. Look how many views this has got.
Yeah.
I've done this. I've done that. I've spoken to these people. It's So Abby, massive thank you to Abby for putting up with me and I suppose not letting me do it is not the right words because it's not like that, but putting up with me being in here all the time.
Yeah.
And talking about it all the time. My parents for letting me use the stables to start it all off. My parents for all the support they're giving me, and then Heritage for sponsoring this golf is massive. Absolutely massive. It's just without them, this would not. Well, I think it's still sat there as a shelter with old holes all in it or it'd have been sold because I just couldn't have got round and got it done money wise. Really couldn't have. And everyone else that sponsored me on the channel, everything that we did with the T5, everything we've done with the golf so far, everything that's happened or happening with the caddy, and any future sponsorships that are going to be happening.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time. We're doing some pretty good chatting with a few people, which is nice, and we'll get to that Cosworth at some point.
It's good. You've got to. It's like, a lot of attraction and going back to that again, and I know we've spoke about that.
It is, massively. Massive.
Clear
massive.
direction.
And Abby's huge on that.
Yeah. Clear direction.
Yeah, you've got to have a clear idea of what you want to do, what you want to achieve, and it'll come.
Yeah. Get out of that comfort zone
It just doesn't have a time scale.
Get it smashed.
Yeah. Before I started the Dan and Abby channel, there is no way I'd have stood in front of a camera and spoke at it.
Yeah.
Not a chance. Put it this way. Or in front of people, in front of a camera, I did not have a picture taken. We didn't have a first dance at our wedding or speeches or anything because I didn't want to.
No.
Was it? We didn't have any of that. Nothing. We only had a first dance because I was absolutely hammered and the DJ said, "Oh, here they are for the first dance." And I was like, "Oh, all right, great, let's do it." But, and that was the first dance. So pushing yourself out your comfort zone is massive, and it makes you grow as a person as well. It really does.
It does, yeah. It does.
Massively.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you what, until you do it, until you get in front of camera, it's nerve-wracking. It's not natural. It just comes. It comes with time, doesn't it? You can. I think that's why I got in touch with you, really, because you just feel like someone's on the same journey at different stages, but you can relate to. And you can share that perspective.
I mean, I went back and watched episode 1 of The Crafter a while ago. Oh, God, that's embarrassing. Sat on the sofa, just chatting away to the camera. It's
progression,
mad.
isn't it?
And then you go there and look at like the latest videos. It's mad. It's massive. But it's all a learning process. You don't know until you try.
You don't.
You won't learn without trying it.
No.
So give it a go. Get out your comfort zone and do something that you've got an idea you want to do. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the channel, and
I've really enjoyed it. It's been nice and good.
It's just bringing another dimension to Vand. We weren't doing this. We just sort of fell into this just because of lockdown, and we haven't been able to get.
I think
features
it'll work.
filmed.
I think it's a good idea. I think it really is.
Same again, lockdown, it showed us into it, and we're absolutely over the moon and really appreciate you being on Air Wheels, and we just continue to support you
and it's nice. It's
subscribe and get drive as many people as we can to your channel and Instagram. And what we'll do is, so everybody, we'll put all the links to everything we've discussed in regards to people that have helped you and supported you, all in the description. Same with Heritage, same with everyone that's supported you and helped you on your journey. And hopefully, this is a bit of an education into who you are, who we are, who I am, and just brings a little bit more of a human side to the channel.
Yeah, I'm hardly the most interesting guy, but it's nice to know where that channel you watch has come from and where it started, and a few more bits.
Super.
More YouTubers should do this sort of thing and go on and talk about where they come from and where they are and what's going on.
Yeah, because we want to be able to tell people's story on a personal level, and it's a great honour to have you on here, Dan, and no doubt
thank you very much for having me.
People will give us a like and comment in the section.
Yes. It's waffled on so long.
I said that apprehensively. No, I don't. Give us a subscribe, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. And we'll
see. It's good. It's been nice.
We'll see you all next time. Thanks, Dan.
Yes. Thanks for having me.
All
Cheers,
right,
mate.
see you soon.